Welcome to the Wikid Weekend podcast. My name is Michael. I'm your host for the evening or morning, wherever the hell it is. and I'm joined by two creators today, Scott and Jeremy. Welcome, guys.
Hey,
Good to be here.
How are you guys doing? How have things been going? I know, Scott, you just are in the middle of your campaigns in a way still.
The live campaign is officially over. So all the fun little perks like the variant cover and the sketches and cameos are all gone. But we are in demand. So if you wanted to pick up a digital or standard issue, you can still do so. We also got our funds this week, which was almost 2 weeks earlier than I expected. So we've been scrambling and getting things ready so that Emilio can take over and start cranking out those pages.
Nice.
that's great.
Nice.
He did say he's planning to do 5 at a time, with a time frame of 7 to 10 days, 15 at most for 5 pages, and we've only got 28 to do. So hopefully we just get smooth sailing and just knock those out.
Okay.
And when is the estimated release date again?
We're shooting for February 2020, but things can always go sideways and stuff. So I'm trying to keep us ahead as much as I possibly can.
That's good. Build in some margin for things going sideways, because they will.
Yeah, that's the plan. So I put it out a little bit further than what it looks like on paper. So if we finish early, then we look good, and if we finish on time, we still look good. So that's the plan.
Good point. Yeah, that's awesome, man. And then soon we shall be shipping off all the books. All the books. So many books, Jeremy.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I mean you're familiar with that. We just can we make the announce exciting news about that, or
Sure, go
about
for it.
regarding Movie Man? We just finished shipping all the Movie Man sans the military perk, which we're still working on. But other than that, all the backers have been fulfilled at this point. If you haven't got your book, then it's in the mail, and you can be assured that it should be arriving within a few days. So
Indeed.
it's very exciting. Very, very exciting.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it.
Nice.
So that means it will be available on the Wikid store?
Yeah, we'll probably have to talk about that, but yeah, it should be there pretty soon, I would think.
Yeah.
Jeremy and I will talk about the exact details of when that'll be releasing, but yeah.
I think
that'll be cool.
It'll probably be available in Comixology slightly before the Wikid store, but I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see.
Yeah, I mean it's however we want to do it. That's fine by me. If you want to get digital out first.
It's just for me. It's just mostly wrangling the details about when to print, and I guess some of that's changed, which we're going to talk about at some point.
Right.
Yeah,
but yeah, we can go over the nitty gritty details.
Yeah.
But it looks like we have Sporkman in the chat. Sporkman says, "Sup, ball."
Hey, man.
Yo, Spork.
Hey, Spork.
How's it going? Power of the sport.
Yes.
But yeah, the magazine is arriving this week. It was supposed to be arriving on Friday. Now arriving on Monday. But it's official. We're gonna set it at the official release for Monday, or I guess actually it's technically out right now. You can go out and order it right now. So,
Cool.
But we'll be starting shipping next week. This upcoming week. So, if you we already had several pre-orders.
That's good. How much? How how much is it for an issue?
Right now it's $10 and with $3 shipping. We felt that was a good price. It helps cover the production of the book. And it's a big book. It's at 98 pages, so it's got a lot of content in it.
I mean, so effectively, it's effectively 100 pages of content for $10. So 10 cents a page.
Nice. That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, that's seems pretty reasonable when you break it down like that. Especially, I mean, you're getting comics and short stories and articles and stuff, and we have the Rags interview in there, which is fun.
Cool.
That was a cool one. Yeah, and just a lot of cool stuff. We even have a manga review from Dollar Bin Reviews in the back.
Okay, cool.
He reviews like his top manga of 2019.
All
which
right.
is cool. Yeah. So there's a lot of cool stuff to look forward to, and I'm excited to begin work on the next issue. Honestly.
Yeah, Dalla,
Um,
he's very much decided to go in a more manga direction, and I think that's great.
nice. That's cool, man.
Yeah, no, you got to go with what you love.
Exactly. Yeah. And I love manga as well, so that's exciting for me to see that.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah. So
there are
I'm
some
hoping.
comics in there as well, right?
Yep, we got a preview of a comic called Carousel by a little man named Doug Curtis.
Awesome.
We have I believe it's about half or maybe 8 or 10 pages of the a preview of his first issue, which so you'll
Cool.
get to check that out. Then we have the first issue of my comic Endemic, which I'm very excited about. It's my first color comic, so that's
Cool.
pretty awesome for me.
Mhm.
And then we have a comic by and that the Endemic is a serialized comic, whereas Doug's is just a preview. And then we have another
Mhm.
serialized comic by Dan, who is doing a book called Call Me Chuck, which is a spinoff of his Molly Beans webcomic series, and it's about a
Okay.
programmer. And then we also not a comic, but we also have Matt's short story from the Mythics, which is called The Dread Spirit. And
Okay.
so yeah, a lot of fun story material to dig into.
Indeed.
hmm and of course, you gotta have a few puzzles. Can't have a magazine without a couple puzzles, right?
That is correct. Yeah.
I used to love those. Like, I don't know if you remember this magazine called Tips and Tricks.
I don't. What kind of puzzles do we have?
We have crossword puzzles and
Okay.
word search. I thought we'd start
Okay.
basic.
Yeah. No Sudoku.
No Sudoku, yeah. And the other thing is I wanted to make it Wicked themed, and you can't make Wicked. You can't make a Sudoku Wicked theme, man. That just doesn't work.
That's true. Yeah, that's difficult.
It's like right. That'd be very challenging. So, but I'm thinking I'm gonna try and branch out to some other stuff next time in the next issue. Mix it up each
Mhm.
time.
Yeah.
The one I really liked from that Tips and Tricks magazine is they had this puzzle in it called because it was a video game cheat code magazine, and so
Okay.
there'd be basically you would get a empty grid, and it would have like A1, A2, B1, B2, etc. And then within those squares would be smaller squares, like a grid within a grid. And what you'd do is you'd have these clues that would say, okay, here's one square, and you fill in these tiny squares like this. So you'd fill in the squares, and it was random order, so you don't know what's happening. By the end of it, you have an image, and it's like a video game character that you recognize. You're like,
Okay.
oh, that's the character. Yeah, 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 I see it. So they're
Oh,
kind
that's
of fun
cool.
little puzzles. Yeah. So I might try and do something like that. Those I always really like those.
Yeah.
Hey,
Sounds
Cody.
complicated
Cody's in the chat. Yo,
though. Yeah.
it is. It'd probably be complicated setup, I think too. But just some ideas I had with it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, yeah, that's right. Cody says I remember the tips and tricks and the pixel fill-in puzzles. That's right, man. That's totally right. Ha ha ha. Yeah, that was my jam back in the day. But what about you? Did you guys grow up reading any magazines or anything like that, or?
I mean, the comic magazine that I liked most. Well, most people will say Wizard, um, but there was a trade magazine called Comic Buyer's Guide, that I would
Hmm.
read all the time, and so that was my favorite, comic related magazine. When it comes to video games, I mean, what was it, like Nintendo Challenge or something? I remember you could subscribe to that for a very small amount of money, and they kept it going for a year or two. But I
Hmm.
wasn't a huge gamer, so
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, this comics buyer's guide looks pretty cool. It says it ran from let's see, I think it was 71 to 2013. It looks like so quite a
yeah.
long run.
The last years of it was a monthly magazine, but when I was
Hmm.
doing it, it was a weekly thing.
Well, that's cool.
And you had the back page column was a thing a regular column by Peter David called But I Digress, and they had a bunch of regular columnists, and it was run by a husband and wife team. And then the husband died, and the wife kept running it.
Hmm.
And it was fun, and they had tons and tons. It was full of ads, right? And so like you could go through and someone would be saying like well, the complete run of blah 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 for like $10 plus shipping.
Oh
So
wow.
you'd send $10 plus shipping, and they'd send it to you.
Oh,
It was
that's
a great
funny, man.
magazine, and it really
Wow.
did a good job of keeping on top of a lot of trends in the comic book industry. And they also had a very lively letters page where people would trade barbs, and yeah,
That's cool.
that was totally my jam back in the day.
Man, that does sound awesome. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, we
Wow.
don't
Yeah.
have
He
anything
seems
like
like
that anymore.
yeah, not really. Yeah. Especially the way with the letters and people. I always thought that's a fun way to get people involved too. Is and kind of show the personality behind the people creating the magazine, which is
Yeah,
always I think a better way to connect with people like that.
yeah,
Well, that's cool, man. Yeah, that sounds like a fun one.
it was.
Did you grow up anything like that, Scott? Or
Well, I think Nintendo Power is the one that I think Jeremy was mentioning earlier.
That's what you're talking about. Sorry.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Which was basically how you would get like tips on how to play the games and all that. That in the schoolyard playground was how you got the tips on how to beat things. Now you
Yeah,
just
wasn't
look it
there
up
like a
online.
little right? It's all online. It's totally different. I mean, that's part of why the magazines probably haven't fallen out a little bit. Is that so much of this is online now,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is too bad.
And then in middle school, I used to go to the library and read Mad Magazine mostly because my parents wouldn't let me read it out.
Yeah, that's funny, man. Yeah, that's I was never allowed to read Mad Magazine either. That was a definite
Really?
no. Oh yeah, I had very strict parents. I had a very strict upbringing.
Oh, I
No
did too.
anything
I did.
subversive, nothing like that.
Okay. I had a pretty. I had what you would probably call a pretty strict upbringing, but they tended to limit my television rather than my reading. I'm not saying they
That's
wouldn't
interesting.
ever my reading, but I was such a voracious reader they just couldn't for the most part. They couldn't keep up with me.
Oh really? That's okay. Yeah, that's the key to it. You got to just stay one step ahead of them.
Yeah, like there's just no way. And so like when I was like 10, I was reading things like P.J. O'Rourke's Parliament of Horrors and things like this.
Oh wow.
Probably not age appropriate. I would not want my daughter to read that.
That's like Matt always talks about watching Berserk and other like really violent anime when he was like 12 years old and stuff. And I was like, geez, man, I can't even imagine.
Yeah, or my wife had almost no restrictions at all, and so she'd watch like horror movies when she was sick.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Like, yeah, I turned out fine. Sure. Well, but like my parents wouldn't let me watch Scooby Doo because ghosts.
Oh wow, really? Oh my god.
And I'm like, they're not real ghosts; they're fake ghosts.
Oh wow. That's funny.
It's like
they're like it's even worse. That means they're criminals. Oh. Oh man, that's an interesting one. I wouldn't have expected that. I was allowed to watch Scooby Doo.
Yeah, I love Scooby Doo.
Right, I grew up on that. Dude.
It was one of those like spooky shows that you could watch when you were a kid.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, I watch Scooby Doo.
And then the
you
movies
watch Scooby Doo?
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, Scooby Doo's a classic. Oh man, but yeah, I grew up on this is probably a little bit after your time, Jeremy, but I was growing up reading the Bionicle comics.
Okay.
Do you remember those at all?
I mean, I very vaguely.
How about you, Scott? Am I the only one here?
I remember the toys and I remember the show, and I think
they came out with the. Sorry, go ahead.
And I remember my younger brother. He was like 6 years younger than me. Was into it a little bit.
Well, yeah, they had Lego put out, and they probably still do, but they put out a free magazine every month, and they would give you a free comic of separate, like, and that's actually kind of what I brought up because NeoStar says I miss the old mini comics they put in those magazines, and Lego would put a comic, an issue of the comic every magazine. I still have all of them. There's like 40 issues I have or more, but it was like an actual comic created by actual creators, and it was like kind of cool actually because it was free obviously, and it was probably like one of the first comics I read when I was a kid. So.
Yeah.
It was Cody says I had a few Bionicle comics. Yeah, the toys were cool too. Big fan of the toys. But another one for me was Shonen Jump. Was probably one of the big ones for me growing up.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. until
Have
they
you ever
stopped.
won-
Obviously.
I guess that like what is Shonen Jump about?
It's just a collection. It's basically kind of like I would say it's like the Wizard Comics of Japan. So you get a
Okay.
collection of serialized manga as well as letters and features and
Okay.
things like that.
Yeah, so they have
And
like
so-
several series that they'll have in there. Usually the most popular one, like One Piece. What else is current like now? Probably Demon
I don't know.
Slayer's in there right now.
I don't know about current, but when I read it, it was Yu-Gi-Oh, Dragon Ball Z, Sand. I don't know. That was that Sandman or something. No, something Sand.
Yeah.
I think.
As I-
A lot of classic stuff.
As I understand it, Japan has several of these magazines that basically you have serials of different mangas, right? And they're very, very popular. I mean, like Shonen Jump obviously is very popular, like in the millions.
Mhm.
And that's how a lot of people, get their manga is through these serialized things. Correct?
I think so, yeah, and I think even in Japan, they're like you're saying they're weekly, like weekly versus monthly. They have a monthly
Okay.
and a weekly in Japan.
Okay.
We had the monthly here for a while, but we never got the weekly.
All right.
But yeah, I think that is a big way. And there's not just Shonen Jump. There's other magazines as well, like Young Animal and others that like do other kind of manga. So there's a ton of them.
Yeah. No, I see the
Hey.
I see the king of headshots here.
What's up,
What's
amigos?
up? How's it going, man?
Not
How's the
bad.
crack-a-lackin'?
I'm working my ass off, you know me. I'm doing like three things at the same time.
Oh, man.
Why do you work
Seriously,
so hard?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe because I've been lazy so far in my life. I'm trying to make up for the lost time.
You're making us look bad, so stop it.
I saw someone make a comment about how no one's using you to make comics, and I had to laugh to myself because I'm like, he's doing like 3 right now. I don't know what you're talking about.
Who said that? Give me his address or her address. Beat the shit out of him.
No, you were already knuckle deep into that fight already, so I don't need to point to it.
Oh, man.
This is why I can't be on Twitter, man. I was telling the other day a friend. I was telling a friend the other day. I'm too much of a brawler. I mean, I see bullshit and I can't not fight it. You know.
It's hard for you, man. You just feel
Yeah.
you're like Rorschach. You feel compelled to do these things.
Yeah,
right.
absolutely. I know I'm not supposed to say that I like Rorschach or that I identify with him. It's highly politically incorrect, but we have that in common. I'm the never compromised.
Nice. That's funny, man. Well, I support you on that front.
Even in the face of Armageddon.
That's
exactly.
You're like
I mean,
screaming at the Twitter banners. You're like, do it.
Yeah, no, I'm like I like that. I did exactly that the other day. People were like, "Oh, so you are by Canales? Twitter support ban this person." And I was like, "Fucking do it! Ban me already! Ban me! You have the balls!" Completely unhinged, fam. Completely unhinged.
So, am I? When can we expect the Iron Sights 2 Indiegogo now?
I think it's going to be out by Halloween, by the end of the month, maybe the beginning of the next. I'm actually working on a back cover illustration for SAC right now. I don't know if you guys know that the original cover was by Kelsey Shannon, but Richard was kind enough to have my original cover illustration in the back of the book. So I'm following the tradition and making one expressly for that.
Cool.
Oh, nice. Do you have updates? Can you tell us anything about Iron Sights, or are you guys keeping it pretty close to the chest?
Well, there's not much to say, really. I mean, it's more brutal and more anyone can die type of than the first one. There's less headshots, but there's more gore.
Nice.
There's more. Let's say there's more heavy artillery. It's not as surgical as the first story. You know what I mean?
I like that.
Right.
Up the ante a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, it's good to vary the violence. I get it, but I'm gonna miss the headshots.
Oh no, there are headshots. Don't worry. We know our customer base.
Okay.
They know they're serving the headshot customer base.
Of course.
that John Wick crowd, you know.
What was the statistic in the first one? It was every 7.2 pages, or what was the number?
Let me tell you, not nearly enough.
Okay.
When you're
No,
making, when you're
I like to
making
see
a
a
comic,
comparison.
yeah, I mean, now there's like probably, I don't know, maybe 3, 4 headshots in this one. There's not many headshots, but I made sure that there are because I don't
Okay.
want to let people down. No.
Yeah. Well, I'm writing you've seen part of the script. I'm writing a script and I had to retool the beginning of it, and I'm like, it should just start with a headshot. Like that just come on. Let's lead with our strengths here.
I mean, I'm the headshot guy, right? I mean, I'm
Yeah.
the guy whom everyone remembers for the headshots. Yeah, I'm
Hey
cool with
man,
that.
when you do them that well.
Yeah. Might as well.
Exactly. Well, that's awesome, man. So you guys are gonna be working on a project together then? Is that what I'm hearing?
Oh, at some point, yeah. But Ibai's
Nice.
he's very busy with things. I'm gonna
Mhm.
wait till he's a little bit, less busy and gets a chance to breathe, and then I'll be like, get to work.
Hmm.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
we actually began working on something, and I know Jeremy was so kind so as to set it in Basque Country. Can you believe that?
That's interesting, man. Is that a first for you?
The studying the Basque thing, yeah, that was new.
Or sorry, I thought you said it was set in Basque.
Oh yes, it part of it yes. So there was originally I had this big idea, and then I thought I'll do a small idea that's sort of later in the game, and then I've decided to move back to the big idea, but still do the small idea at some point. So,
Okay, interesting.
but honestly, we've done like one page that honestly could be the opening to several different things, and so we'll have to get together and talk about that at some point.
Nice. Jeremy, the man of a million projects.
Oh, so
yeah, but I like to think that I'm the the pilot of Comicsgate because I know I'm not, but I like to think that there's several projects that depend entirely on me working my ass off. And I like to believe that I'm helping to save comics because
You're
my
a
ego is that big.
cornerstone.
yeah,
Exactly.
You're an absolute corner piece, my friend.
you are the Saving Comics group.
I'm funnier too.
Yes.
Which is why we love you.
Thank you. It's mutual. It's mutual.
Nice, man. Well, hey, I'm glad to hear you're getting the work, man. You're making progress on Ironsides and all your other projects, and you have a book out on Indiegogo at the moment called SOS.
Yep.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, SOS is the story of 3 brothers who used to be super soldiers in World War II. Super soldiers of an interesting origin, actually, because they not many spoilers really, because one of them looks like part. They descend from a demon. You know, they have a demonic origins, so they have enhanced speed and strength and all that, and they don't age. And since the war ended, they have been bored out of their minds, and they're living together in this crummy apartment in Brooklyn. And suddenly, a demon invasion breaks off, and they're none too doubtful to jump into the action again and try to stop it. And they decide subsequently to open a monster hunting business. Their hunting range gets extended to demons and vampires and robots and whatnot, and pretty much whatever Chimera Comics wants to throw into the mix.
Cool.
Robots. I like robots.
Everyone likes robots,
Right? You can't go wrong with robots. I mean, there's a giant robot and Movie Man.
That's there. It is. Yeah. that giant robot caused me no end of trouble. It's funny. I was sorry. You hadn't talked.
No. Please.
Okay. The giant robot. I had Doug. I wanted him to do some designs, and so that was one of the designs, and he did it in such a way. I'm like, that's the last page of the comic. It's there's no option. That's it. I literally couldn't end it any other way now.
It was like you knew it exactly when you saw it.
Yeah, like it was. It wrote itself, and So, but then that turned around and caused me some additional troubles that I'm solving by doing Movie Man issue 2. So,
Well, I was gonna say you kind of you've painted yourself into a corner now.
Yeah.
You got to deal with that.
I know.
Robot
Because
in the room.
originally Movie Man was just going to be a one shot, and then because
Oh wow,
because of that, it now it's not, it's more than a
it's
one shot.
evolved.
Yeah,
Yeah, the little bastard has a life of his own.
yeah.
Now, how close are you to Seattle, Jeremy?
We're about 100 miles north of 100 and something.
Oh,
100 and
that sounds far.
not that it's a pretty straight shot right down I-5. So
Really?
it's a two, roughly a 1+ or 2 hour trip to get to northern Seattle. But then you got to see how the traffic is, because Seattle traffic is awful.
We're Matt and I are going to be coming up to the Emerald City next year for Emerald City Comic Con.
Oh,
and if you want to come join us at the booth, we'd be more than happy to have you with us.
I'm there.
Awesome, man. Cool,
Yeah,
man. I'm filling up the application right now, so
Okay, cool.
excellent.
I
Very
think
cool.
Brett's planning to be there too.
Oh, really? Oh, cool. That's perfect, man. That's gonna be nice.
That's great. I was looking at it and I'm like, I don't know how I could get in. Like it's hard to do that if you're just a little guy, but
Right, yeah.
But with all
exactly.
our powers combined,
exactly. Wonder Twins activate.
When is Emerald City Con?
It's March 12th through the 15th, I believe. 2020.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
almost want to go to a convention now.
Sorry, what was
I know
that?
that.
Levi, real quick, what was that?
Oh no, I said that I almost want to go to a convention now.
Oh, good.
I was at a local convention last weekend and it was pathetic.
Okay.
Nice, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I want to go to a real one.
A real one. You've been to a real one. You've been to New York City Comic Con. What are you talking about?
Before it turned into a
I see.
what's the word?
Pop
A
culture
tentacle
fest.
of the LGBTQ the alphabet people. That's all it is now.
Well, that and corporate ad, one giant corporate ad.
Yeah, that's true.
But what were you saying, Scott, about the Emerald City one?
My concept cover artist is up there, so she might also attend and maybe do some signings, since hopefully Wrath will be out by then.
That'd be cool. I'll have to get some extra chairs and stuff and set up a little back here, area behind the booth so people can hang out when they're not, selling stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's gonna be our big one, I think, for next year.
Cool.
I still want to plan on going to New Mexico if I can, but I might be doing. Who knows? We'll see. But for sure, we're doing this one.
Cool.
So yeah, that's gonna be awesome, man. It's gonna be really cool.
Nerd Wonder is putting together a convention in Dallas next year.
Interesting.
It's gonna be very much a small press sort of thing. I'll put her in contact with you. It may or may not be a thing you want to do.
Okay, yeah. I would definitely be interested in taking a look at that. Yeah.
Cool.
I'd like to. I'll definitely try and help out a new convention if I can. I know how hard that is to, not from experience, but just from hearing about it. I know how hard it is to put on events like that. And, so anything I can do to help would be, I'd be happy to.
Cool.
Nerd WonderCon.
So what's it gonna be? It's gonna be like a CG convention or indie convention or what? What's the angle?
Yeah, it's gonna be so it'll be more like a comic book show. There's gonna be people. It's gonna be. They don't want to do cosplay at that one, which is funny because it's Nerd Wonder. But they're like, no, this is gonna be. You show up and we buy and sell comics, and obviously so it'll be like dealers and small press, and that's the idea. Like your people are showing up to buy and sell comics, which I like.
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's tons of different types of shows too. There's big ones and small ones, all different types.
Yeah.
I'm actually typing out. Sorry, go ahead.
This weekend in Tacoma, I guess, in Tacoma, Washington, there's Jet City Con. So
which one's that about?
I think it's a little bit more anime focused, but I'm not sure. I haven't never been to it, but it's in its 10th year, and next year I'd like to try to get a table there.
Nice. Sell some movie men.
Yeah, and some other stuff. Yeah.
Very nice, man. Yeah, because have you sold stuff have you done like a booth stuff at conventions before or?
I have, but only with when I've been selling my own private collection.
Mhm.
I've never,
Oh, really? Oh, interesting.
I mean, because I have a lot of comics. I mean, too many. But is there such a thing? There is when you're running out of space. But yeah, I mean, I can show up at shows, and I can do like a mix of usually dollar. I mean, you can sell valuable stuff, but usually what I do is just sell comics for $1 a piece or graphic novels for $5 a piece. Just try to move out a lot of stuff that way.
Nice, man. Yeah, that seems like a pretty cool idea. Yeah, I see a lot of guys coming in with their collections, and it's always kind of cool to see that.
Yeah, if you can find a high volume show, those and you have the right prices, you could sell a lot of comics.
Oh
A
yeah,
lot.
yeah. A lot of people are coming to those shows just looking for those kind of people too.
Yeah.
So, are we doing any cons this next year locally?
Oh yeah, I'll be hitting up all the cons again. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, local cons are always. Pretty much gonna be doing local cons every year from forever now.
So I don't
That's
have
the
to
plan, at least.
I don't have to drag myself up to Seattle then.
Well,
No.
We wouldn't mind though.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, in fact,
I'm
I'll
not
probably.
gonna say no, but I'm not gonna say yes to that one.
I'll probably start. I'm probably gonna start applying for stuff and looking into next year's conventions within the next month or so, because they actually you need to get a head start on them.
Yeah.
And so if anyone has any they want to see us go to or any ideas, just throw them our way. One I always keep wanting to go to is freaking SAC Anime, but I can never get in, man.
Okay.
They are like permanently full. Like I think what they do is they take everyone who had a seat last time. And they say who wants to buy again. Everyone buys again, and then they're like, we're already sold out because no one's leaving. So that's that's what's happening with San Diego Comic-Con. I've heard it's almost impossible to get booth space now.
Oh, and you wouldn't want it. I mean, the prices you have to pay there.
Right. Oh my gosh, upwards $3,000+.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the artist thing is either heavily discounted or free. I don't know how it works.
It's probably still pretty expensive, honestly.
But if you're getting a dealer space there, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a reason nobody sells comics at San Diego Comic-Con anymore. You can't make a profit.
It looks to me like cons have become a way of milking publishers and small business owners, actually.
It depends. Yes, a lot of the big ones, that's absolutely true. Not even a question. So a lot of the smaller shows aren't like that yet.
At the same time, though, there are a lot of factors that make it tough too, because it's a lot of money to put on a show, too. So it's no cakewalk to organize that event. So they do need a lot of that money to just put on the event itself. Obviously, they're making a profit as well. Well, actually, I think isn't San Diego Comic-Con, isn't that a nonprofit organization?
I don't know.
I could be wrong, but I thought. But at any rate,
if they're not making a profit, they're not doing it right. I'll just say that.
But it's just crazy. Like it's like the trade-off is you go to a big show and it's really expensive, right? But you get a lot more foot traffic. And you go to a smaller show, it's cheaper, but you get a significantly less amount of foot traffic. So it's a trade-off. It really is. But
then there's the question of there's foot traffic versus spend traffic, in the sense that there are some shows that people will go to and then they'll complain. Yeah, there's a lot of people there, but nobody was buying.
True.
And those tend to be more cosplay heavy cons. So and it's fine. Cosplay. It's not that I have nothing against cosplayers. It's just that they have their own thing that doesn't necessarily always go together with buying, comics and other things that we're trying to hawk.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It can be tough, and the more it goes to commercialism and TV shows, the harder that becomes.
Yeah.
When I go to sell comics, sometimes we're the only ones selling original comics at a convention.
That's nuts.
Yeah, and people will be shocked to see that.
Another thing that I've noticed is that comic book conventions have become almost nothing to do with nothing to do with comics anymore. It's just about the cosplay and the merchandising and the celebrities and all that.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Most stuff you see is merchandise, posters, prints of popular characters,
and Funko Funko Pop.
And Funko Pops and
Yeah.
walls and walls of
Funko
Funko Pops.
I mean, basically,
Oh my God.
the Funko Pops are like the Pogs of this decade.
Yeah, it really is.
It's the way that these stores, come up with something attractive that's the right price point. You can move a lot of them to help pay the bills.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were talking because I did a small local con a couple months back with Michael, and we were talking about with comics we're selling them pretty cheap for a single issue, and other people have things that are like $10-$20.
Yeah.
And they can make their money back with a few sales where we have to kind of push a little bit more.
Yeah.
So we were playing around with ideas of bundling the comics together with like the prints and stuff, like in a already made to go bag, like $10-$12. You get all this stuff for a couple bucks cheaper than buying it separately.
Yeah. How old will the prints sell at these things? I haven't ever asked about that.
We did one time. We did a kind of like Scott was saying with the bundling deal. We did a thing like you buy this comic and you get a free print with it, or you buy this bundle and you get a free print or something like that.
Yeah.
And that was actually did pretty well.
Okay.
I think it was like $1 off. Maybe it was like $1 off the printer. It was something like that. I think it was like a reduced price, but
yeah.
So offering incentives like that seemed to work, and they do sell. But what I've noticed is the prints sell better when there's a comic related to it on the table.
Okay.
Like Barrel's prints sell better than prints of comics that aren't out yet.
Yeah.
Or just simply because it's right there.
Yeah, we have some Mythoverse ones, but we don't have the comics yet. So
right, exactly. And we have a Jack Irons that print out on the table, but the comic isn't released yet publicly.
Yeah.
So those ones they do sell, but they don't necessarily sell as well as the ones, because I just think people like to be able to say, well, oh, here's the comic. Let me get the comic and a print with it. You know.
But,
yeah, it was really interesting too, because people would look at the prints without the comics and be like, "Oh, I would like my daughter would really like this one," but there's no comic to sell them.
Yeah,
right.
Which is kind of the downside. But I think once we get the comics to go with those and we start bundling, we'll start getting more of those sales on both fronts.
I like Scott's idea because for a couple reasons. One, it eliminates the having to package the comics up every time someone buys one. So we'll have the comics pre-packaged. We can even have one out as a display copy for people to read.
Yeah.
And two, we can bundle a couple books and a print all together in one bag, like he was saying, and then it's all good to go. And the print's already in there, so they're like, yeah, might as well buy it. It's right there. It's only like $1 more. So
makes sense.
It's an impulse buy. You got to get that impulse buy.
Yeah.
And also, I think once the word gets out, the comics start getting more attention. People recognize it more, and they'll pick up the prints as well.
Exactly. It's funny though. I actually had a guy come by at the convention, and I think it was LA Comic-Con, and he recognized Jack Irons, the character, from Twitter.
Cool.
And it wasn't someone who we'd ever interacted with or knew who we were even. He's like, "Hey, I think I know that character." Yeah, I was like, "That's pretty cool."
They saw all the bootleg stuff on Amazon.
Oh yeah, I should probably check on that.
I gotta say, it's a magical moment for an artist. When someone you don't personally know tells you that he loves your work, or that he hates you. Like, yeah, it happens to me when someone retweets someone saying how much of a shit artist I am, and it's almost exciting because it's like 500 people agreeing, and I'm like, whoa, 500 people have heard of me. I'm almost honored.
No, that's a good way. Yeah, it's any attention is good attention.
Exactly.
But yeah, those damn scalpers, man. I'm gonna take them out.
All right.
I've already filed a complaint with Amazon. I'm just waiting to hear back, but I haven't heard back in a few days, so I think I'm gonna reach out to him again.
Yeah.
To remind them we have a copyright on that stuff. So
I honestly think the way the bootleg stuff should work is that, okay, you can bootleg anything you want, but then the copyright holder gets the payment.
That's a good philosophy.
Yeah,
there you go.
Sure,
you know what they should do is they shouldn't even tell them about it. It should just automatically funnel into my account.
Hey, why are we getting well, it's not yours.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, huh? It's crazy people think you can get away with that.
The only downside, though, is if the quality of the product is awful.
True. True.
I suppose, but you've got the money, so
No, that's funny. But yeah, it's pretty weird, isn't it?
yeah. I don't know. It's interesting what people think they can, what the people do get away with, until somebody finally calls them on it.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So I'm Amazon's a good company, and I've had good experience with them in the past. So I'm hoping they'll make this right. So I'm still hopeful that they can get this done.
Yeah, I mean, I don't I mean it's you've got a bunch of stuff up there that, as far as I can tell, isn't selling any copies. Like so.
Well,
Who knows? But it's not helping them to have this there.
right. But I just think it makes it upset. I think Cody. Well, I know Cody's upset, and I think it's mostly just a principle thing. Like how dare they, try
Yeah,
and profit off of this.
Well, I'd be upset too. Just he worked damn hard to get that stuff out there, and then these guys just swoop in and be like, copy paste.
yeah.
Here we go.
What's even worse too is that they deleted the background and then they copy pasted. So they tried to make it look like it was a completely different image,
Jerks.
but you can tell you can tell. I sent them to the original. I was like, look, it's on our freaking store right now, on our web store.
I think it is going to get taken down. It's just priorities,
Mm-hmm.
Takes a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the copyright process takes like a year, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I think the Library of Congress is going to be stopping. It's not going to be taking any more physical copies after December of this year.
Okay. That can make things faster, right?
Hopefully, yeah. It's kind of sad though. Like I kind of like the idea of like our comics being in the Library of Congress.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool, right?
Yeah, it is. Tell Zach to put Iron Sights on one on Amazon.
I would be cool with that. I mean, I've done several similar things in the past. I mean, once I went to a comic book store and I dropped a couple of comics that I have made myself, into the official comics, and I was like, okay, I'm already in a bookstore. I'm officially a comic book artist.
Yeah.
So what the hell?
Dude, that's
now?
awesome, man. That's a good feeling, right?
Right. Oh yeah.
But I want to ask you based on that because DNC he doesn't really have a storefront yet, does he?
Who? Sorry.
Sorry, I call him Zach.
Oh yeah. No, I don't think he has a store running yet, but I think that's in his immediate plans.
Is it okay?
Open, like,
I would like to see that.
Yeah, like an official Splato Comics, at least
Exactly.
online store. That would be pretty cool.
I think so too. Yeah, I think it would be a nice step in a good direction. Be able to buy the comics out of Indiegogo. I think is important.
Yeah. There also he's leaving some money on the table and not doing that because there are some people who just hate crowdfunding and are like, I will never back a crowdfunding. I mean, I'll buy the books, but I'm never ever going to back a crowdfunding anything, right?
Oh, that's interesting.
Whatever, that's fine. Like it's their call, it's their money. And if you don't give them other avenues to buy it, then they can get it secondhand on like eBay or from another collector or something, but. You're not getting the money.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, huh? Well,
so I think it's really important for a lot of these guys to only view crowdfunding as one revenue stream. You can get some money from crowdfunding. You can get some money from direct sales at conventions. You can get some money from like an internet store, that kind of thing, and you put it together, and it can add up to something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I actually had a friend. He's in tabletop board game distribution, and there was this big game that came out a couple of years ago called Gloomhaven that was just like smashing like the crowdfunding scene. It was like making over $1 million, and he was very careful to explain to him, like, this is great, this is really good. but you need to get it published and out through a distributor for sustainability. Like you can't just keep, doing this and grow your brand.
Yeah.
Well, at least you're not Star Citizen.
Indeed.
Anyone? No one knows Star Citizen.
Yeah, I've heard about it, but I'm
Really, you guys don't know about Star
play
Citizen?
anything.
It's
Yeah,
been in development hell for the last 7 years. Well, it depends on your perspective, but it was the biggest crowdfunding ever. It made $3 billion or some shit. It made something fucking insane.
Too much.
Let me look it up. It's made. They have Mark Hamill as one of the characters in the game.
Okay.
And a shit ton of other. Gary Oldman's in it.
Okay.
So the thing is they sell ships upwards of $40,000 or like $30,000 ships, real world money. I know a guy who bought. I was on a podcast. He bought $800 worth of ships.
That's crazy.
Right. I mean that's why they're making so much money. They made right. So okay, I was way off. You're right. $3 billion. That was a bit of a big exaggeration, but it still made more than $200 million on crowdfunding, which is still incredible.
That's crazy.
Right. So it's like, whoa, okay. So it's been in developing for the last 7 years and supposedly it's supposed to come out, but some people claim it won't ever come out. Some, who knows?
That's a lot of money to sit on.
Right?
Yeah,
I would be sweating like we got to get this going, guys.
Yeah.
I mean the Romanian tax will be arriving anytime soon if we don't deliver this game.
If you like your kneecaps, get the game out, guys.
Right? Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I think someone tried to sue him already over it, but they didn't get successful.
Yeah,
we're not successful.
I mean, that's pretty easy to prove if you're actually producing the games. Like, here we are, we have an office, these are our workers, here's what we've done so far. Yeah. It's just taking time.
Well, they have an alpha out, I guess, but it's a very early alpha.
Yeah.
But I'm excited about the game. The premise is basically you have an entire universe to explore, and it's a player-based economy. So you could become anything you want, essentially, and the possibilities are potentially endless if they pull it off right.
Okay, well, here's hoping they do then.
Right.
I think maybe I'll announce this here. This is something I'm interested in doing. It's not happening, but as I've been writing Movie Men, and as I have other Movie Men, things coming up, I realized this would make a good video game, like an old school video game, like a 90s Nintendo game, or with slightly better graphics, so anyways, I've been talking to a few people who are very, very junior in the pecking order of video games, but that might take a chance and put something like this together for a percentage of the, for some money and a percentage of the back end. So we'll see. So, I think Movie Man will be a very good video game. I'd want to have many more issues under our belt before we pursued it. But I mean, essentially, these stories would be good levels in video games. I didn't even realize that was the case until I sat down and thought about it. That's
pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. Would it be like a 2D side scroller, or what'd you have in mind?
Yeah, like a 2D side scroller. It's
very nice.
Yeah,
like X-Men, like the old X-Men arcade game, right?
Yeah, like that. Yeah.
Didn't Lone Wolf do something like this, or is working on something?
I
believe so.
They're working on something. I'd have to ask Doug about the specifics of it, but yeah, 2D side scroller sounds about right.
You could do something like Metal Slug, considering you can choose several different characters with several different weapons and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool. Honestly, I've been wanting to. I've had the thought in my head for a while to try and hire someone to make a Unity game. For us. Yeah, because I've seen some cool stuff out of Unity that looks really cool.
Yeah.
But who knows? That's the ideas are endless there. You can take it so many different directions.
Indeed.
I was thinking a Jack Irons game would be cool. Like you go around shooting robots and shit.
Yeah, and then instead of like when you die, instead of a new turn, you get reincarnated.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, dude.
You're like, wait,
That's
what?
such a
Yeah,
great
I think Jack Irons would be a cool, like, Prey style video game, like the old
Hmm.
Prey from 2009, something like that,
Mm-hmm.
in which
Totally, yeah.
dying is part of the game, actually,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I could totally see that. Huh. Well, that's fun. Maybe one day Wicked will have a gaming division.
Indeed.
We,
Wicked.
Wicked Games, man. Exactly. We already have plans for Wicked Media in the future.
Okay.
So,
Well, that would be awesome.
so that could roll all up in one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got. That's part of my going back to our convention talk earlier. Something that's been running around in my head for a while is the idea that if we want to make Wicked something bigger than what it, keep making it bigger and bigger, we
Yeah.
got to keep expanding and evolving and coming up with new things to grab people's attention and grab the different markets that are out there. So I feel like we just can't just stop at comics. We'll have to eventually we're gonna have to evolve into other avenues, video, other medias, and keep expanding. That's
I
how
agree.
Rooster Teeth did it.
Plus, you go to these different. You're not just going to comic conventions, right? You're going to a lot of different places, meeting a lot of different people, and
Mhm.
you're seeing what's available outside of the sort of confines of the LCS centric comic book thing, and I think that's great.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, we're hoping we can keep pushing it like that. Yeah. In fact, I think 2020 is going to be a big year for us in terms of now that we have all these series on the table. Now we're going to start pushing them into stores and places that we hadn't been in before. So yeah, I'm very excited for 2020. Even more so, I think I was for this year. I think 2020 is going to be even bigger for us. So
Yeah, I mean,
I just want to say here. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
oh no, you talk. That's fine.
No, please. I was just going to go off on a tangent for a second.
Okay, no, I mean, look, it's you've in many cases you've had these comics that we've been talking about for a long time that maybe people could get through crowdfunding, but they're not even available through your store yet, right?
Exactly.
In
Yeah.
2020, you're going to have tons of series that are available through the store, that are available at conventions. You're going to be able, like you talked about, how you're going to be able to get comics and they're as Yogurt would say, they're merchandising, and side by side. It'll be an easier and better sell for you.
Yeah, I totally agree. Exactly. And it'll just be like so much to show them. Like the more you have to show, I think the better. You want to give them options and variety and just show them what you got.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
and I'm already laying the
also
foundations right now. So
I was
what was
pointing
that,
out
Scott?
to I was also pointing out to Michael the other day with Wrath getting funded. That means like all the titles that Wicked signed early this year, end of last year, have all been funded and are all going into production.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really cool, isn't it? That's pretty freaking awesome, man.
That's 100% success rate on getting the titles done and out there.
Yeah, and we're gonna finish our deliverance on 2 campaigns before other people have finished one. Just saying. So I think that says a lot on its own there. So I'm very proud of what we've done this year, all of us.
And Mythoverse is coming up next on what's going out. Sporkman goes to Japan, and then Wrath, and then that'll be everything that we worked on this year.
Yeah. It's very, very exciting to see.
Charger,
but yes, we
Charger,
are.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Oh, Charger.
But
Charger's on the way as well.
Yeah, it's Charger.
But yeah, so right. But I guess we're getting to the end of our hour here. I did want to say, on the Movie Man video game side, Neostar says, Movie Man would be a dope video game. I could see it as a beat 'em up or a side scroller, as we were saying. And he says, mummies, dinosaurs, robots, starships, etc.
Starship.
That's a good
idea.
I like this. Beat the game once to play as Sporkman. Isn't that good? Oh man,
like it.
yeah, that would be that'd be a good unlockable character for sure. Oh man, but I guess we're getting on to the next hour here. But I appreciate you guys joining us today. Where do you guys want to tell people about and following you guys online?
Yeah, you can follow me at Jeremy Lott Diary on Twitter, and that's probably the easiest place to follow me. So.
And do you do any YouTube, anything like that, or have you not broken yet out into the YouTube scene, huh, Jeremy?
I thought about it, but everyone else was doing it, and I'm like, they need guests, you know.
That's fair, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
you can almost make your YouTube channel just going to other people's YouTube channel.
Yeah, there you go.
You're the guest YouTube. You're like, you come on, you're like, I'm the host now.
It is my ship now.
Exactly. I'm the captain now. And right. What about you, Scott? Right, that's a good one.
Wrath is still in demand on Indiegogo, so nice. You can go pick up your standard or digital copies. If you're not familiar with Wrath is a story about a young man and his best friend as he discovers he has the ability to manifest all these dark emotions from his childhood into a physical form. And you can follow me on Twitter. It's at KYSHKUMEN. And that's probably the best place to follow me as far as getting updates. And we do have a stretch goal for 2,000. Jeremy's really excited about that, so help him get that Emilio Uchura print that he's been I had his eyes on since I leaked it to him.
Take a look at this, guys, and you'll want to back it. There's not even a question.
So we have that stretch goal. So if you want a copy, we'll have that up until we put it out to print. So
very nice.
Jump on that while you can.
Awesome, man. Thank you for joining us. And how about you, Ibai? Where can people follow you these days?
Well, you can follow me because I'm done pretending I'm someone else. at
wink, wink.
Decimators, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Fuck those guys, seriously. But yeah, you can follow me at Decimators Art on Twitter, where I'll try to upload as much info about myself and the projects I'm working on as possible. And you can follow me on Instagram too. And I also have a YouTube channel, which I don't update as often as I should because I'm crazy busy lately, you know.
Really?
You're busy drawing comics, man.
Yeah, it could be worse. I could be working on a coal mine.
Hey, man, comics is greasy work, you know?
Comics is... Whoa. It's tough. Hell.
I got the ink lung, Pa.
Oh man. Well, hey, are you still doing your live reads anytime? You gonna do any new live reads anytime soon? Maybe. I'd love to join you on one. So because, you want to do one with me, man? You want to do a Decimators live read, man? Some more Decimators live reads.
I would love to. I mean, Midnight in Exile is on permanent hiatus. As you told me recently, I don't know why. So yeah,
so sad. Maybe we can start another comic. Maybe if you guys want, you want to put that on hiatus. Maybe we'll go. We'll do Abductables, right? We'll figure something out. We'll figure something, right?
Yeah, you know, I'm open to more social interaction because I spend the whole day at home, you know, in the dungeon drawing comics, and I really need to hang out with people more before I go full Jack Torrance on my mom.
Right, dude. That's gonna be a long day for you, man. I feel for you.
Yeah.
The longest day of your life. 24 reference. But awesome, man. Well, hey, thanks again for joining us. It's always a pleasure to have you on. We don't get to talk to you enough.
Always a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, well, so we'll have to definitely, and you know, honestly, you have so many comics that I'd love to have you on an indie spotlight sometime to talk about any of the comics that you're doing, honestly.
Absolutely.
In fact, we could probably do it
whenever, you know.
Yeah, honestly, I might even talk to you. We could honestly probably do a whole episode just on you as the indie spotlight, and you could just talk about everything you're doing, honestly, because you have so much going on.
Awesome.
So yeah. Well, awesome, guys. Thanks again. I appreciate it. I think we'll be starting up our next segment here with the Mythoverse guys. But thanks for joining us on this Wikid Weekend, and I hope you guys have a good one.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you. Same.
Take care.
Thanks for having us.
Hey, Matt.
Hey, Michael.
Where's Brett?
I'm going with the first guy coming.
Why? Where's Brett?
Last I heard, he hates you.
Well, I
busy.
hate him now.
He's busy, so
what a joke.
all he,
I'm gonna see if e-bike can come back in here.
well, hold on. Brett says that Ginger only has 15 pages left on the rework of Changelink.
Well, that's good at least.
Yep.
Very good to hear updates on that front.
Yep. So it'll be print ready in no time.
That's the goal.
Yep.
If there's anything we can do to help facilitate things on our end, just let us know. We're more than happy to help out. Yeah, we'll get this thing done.
I think you probably did all you could do. It's all on the Changeling team right now.
Well, then let's hope they can get it done.
Oh, they can.
Yeah, that's
I have
good.
no doubt about.
But how have you been otherwise?
No, good. Got projects on hand.
Really?
Yep.
What are you working on right now?
Well, there's that secret project that no one should know. I can know about yet. I've completely reworked the Mythics outline for the comic for the first 5 issues.
Nice.
Working on a Mythics novel and a Mechanic Chronicles novel.
Nice, man. Got some cool stuff going on.
Yep.
You got the Mythic short story in the magazine coming out, which is cool.
Yep. Which
Can you tell people a
I
little
think
bit
the
about
novel
that?
will be. It's more or less me working out some hostility I have towards California.
Yeah, because the story takes place in California, which is a bit unusual for the Mythics.
Well, one of the things that I have to say is that there's so few of them, so they have to go anywhere at a moment's notice. So, while everyone will expect Elfia to be just in Michigan, she's not going to be stuck there. She's going to be all over the place. And Volume 2 will definitely show that.
Nice. Yeah, it'll be cool to see once that comes out, man.
Oh yeah. Here's hoping that we last long enough for that.
Oh, come on. I'm sure you guys will. Don't be such a Debbie Downer.
Oh, no, I'm not much of a downer. I mean, I'm talking more about you guys.
Oh, ha, very funny. But no, I mean, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. We don't yet know when Mythics issue 2 will be out, but hopefully sometime in 2020. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
We shall see, won't we?
Issue 2 will be 2020. Volume 2 will be in the near future.
I see. When you say Volume 2, you don't mean the second issue.
Yep. And it'll be and it'll have some crossovers. So might see another certain characters from this version there.
Oh, okay. Like old baby Maeve, maybe.
Who knows? I mean, you got to see a baby Changeling.
Exactly. There's obviously something going on. There's obviously some sort of plot going down with these babies. What's going down? Tell me where you're taking these babies. I want to know. Give me a name. Where's Rachel?
Yeah, honestly, we're not gonna have baby Maeve in there because one, Maeve's a lot older, by that point. I think she's about 7. And hey, NeoStar, and thanks. I can't wait to write more Althea for you guys.
Nice. Althea is a popular character.
Not as popular as Adobe or Maeve.
You don't think so?
Well, it's to be expected because Mythics is something of a is different from Changeling and Adobe Kroger. It's not as action packed as Adobe Kroger or as dramatic as Changeling can be, or have any of the cute moments of Changeling, which I think a lot of people are able to grasp onto Changeling because the character is written to be relatable. And what? And at this point, Althea's probably not going to be seen as relatable to very many people, aside from first-time parents, though, because I've heard from Dan that he has been through those nights where the baby does not want to sleep.
Yeah, I can imagine. It must be tough.
Yep. So apparently I've accurately described what it's like to have a baby for their first year.
I'm sure Jeremy could relate to that.
Possibly. Since I've only heard from Dan about it, so.
Yeah. Well, I wonder what Dan's up to today.
Work. It's it's the busiest time of the year for him.
Huh. Wow.
Yep.
Poor guy.
Yeah, but he makes good money.
That's good, yeah.
Plus, he also has to take care of the kids while his wife is down. But
I heard she had that accident.
Yep.
Hopefully she'll be on the way to feeling much better soon.
Same. But I don't think it's gonna be. I think it might be a long road for her for now because of the kind of fractures she had.
Yeah, it was her ankle, right?
Uh-huh.
My mom broke her ankle a couple of years back. It was awful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a long road to recovery.
Yeah, and I don't want to have that kind of fracture she had.
Oh no. Yeah, I'm lucky enough. I don't know about you, man, but I've never broken a bone in my life.
Same. I've sprained. Yeah, same. I sprained.
Yeah, sprained. I got a sprained ankle, but many years ago. That was probably 15, 20 years ago by now. But yeah, I'm very cautious. I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Definitely.
I've never been one to take risks like that, you know.
No, that's a good thing.
Like I always think of the story that Bernie tells on the Rooster Teeth podcast, where he when he was younger he was at a pool there was a party and there were at I don't know, some sort of outdoor lake or something, and he jumps in and he didn't see that right underneath the water there was like a pipe, and so he had almost dived in, but he decided to jump in feet first and he like broke his leg, and if he had dived in he said he thinks he would have died that day. And so it's like, Jesus, dude, he just leapt without thinking, and off this really high place, knowing like it was way higher than anyone else was jumping off. So it's just like, yeah, I've never been that kind of person.
Well, considering the fact that he's the same guy who who at the age of 19 got drunk and ran into a college football field while the teams were playing.
Yikes! Yeah, that sounds about right. Huh. What a
Uh,
fool! Oh, he also tried to jump into his car with no arm, without using his hands.
but that also tells
Is
you,
that
well, it also tells you the kind of person that runs a business is that they take those kinds of risks as well.
true? You gotta be
That's something
willing
I've
to
noticed.
take some risks, you can't play it safe all the time.
Nope.
Hmm.
And that's why I think a lot of people aren't able to take risks like making a comic.
Hmm.
They don't want to, they can't see any of this working out, so they'll just let it sit on their hands.
Hmm.
Sit on their
Let the
hands, and
dream. It's when I remember there was a Toonami thing. They always do those little promotional, inspirational videos. And it was talking
yep,
about how when you get older, you forget your dream, you put your dreams aside because real life gets in the way, and stuff. And it's hard to hold on to those dreams sometimes.
yep,
But that's really important to do that. So I totally get that. It's part of the reason I started Wicked Publishing with Matt was because I didn't want to just not give up before I'd even tried. So
Oh yeah,
that's
that's a
where
good thing
we
because
started. The company used to be called Project R too. It wasn't even Wicked Publishing at first. And look where we are now.
named after the comic.
Pretty creative, huh?
Yeah, but
Do you know what Project R stands for?
what?
Rome. Project Rome.
Okay,
Big surprise.
yeah, that's super creative.
Yeah, I know, right? The creativity just never ends.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was going to say that, then I thought, oh, that's too stupid.
No, it was purposely done. It was actually a throwaway title at first, and then the more we said it, for whatever reason, the more we liked it, and now it's actually incorporated into the story.
Well,
So it all works.
that's what happens when you say it over and over again.
Right,
You eventually
exactly.
accept it.
Right, exactly. Which is why I was actually opposed to Wicked Publishing at first. Matt's the one who came up with the name Wicked Publishing, and he even
Wow.
came up with the spelling of it too. And at first I was like, I don't know. And then the more I sat with it, I was like, actually, yeah, I like it. Actually, yeah. And so
I'm
it's funny
surprised.
how
It
that
really
worked.
sounds like the kind of name you'd come up with.
No, it was all Matt. In fact, he had had it in the back of his head for a little while. Yeah,
That's
he brought it to me. Yeah. But yeah, so no, it's just interesting where inspiration will come from, I suppose.
Oh yeah. It'll come from anywhere.
It really can, yeah. I just hope Martin Scorsese doesn't call me a hack when I come out with my next comic.
Well, I don't think he's concerned with comics. I think he's concerned with films.
No, I don't think he's concerned with films because, according to him, Marvel isn't cinema. So apparently, he's concerned with theme park rides. Oh, burn! Take
Well,
that, Scorsese.
well, yeah, because that's basically all it is when you look at
But
come right down to it.
you
And
can say all you want about it, but Kevin Smith, I think, had the best thing to say about it, which is, Martin Scorsese clearly isn't the kind of guy who grew up with his dad, going to see movies with his dad, and seeing the magic of cinemas unfold, like Star Wars and Indiana Jones, and these movies where they transport you to another world. And so he doesn't understand how that is important to people, and he even says it's fair. He has a valid opinion, and that's fine. But it's at the same time, we're not wrong for liking it, and it is cinema.
oh yeah, but the thing is, there's a certain point where it does become cheap. Where, let's just say, you see people compare the battle from Endgame to the battle of Helm's Deep. You really can't compare those two because of the fact that, as one YouTube critic has put it, there's nothing but high points for the big battle at the end of Endgame. it's just basically victory after victory after victory with one tiny stumble.
So I'll give you that.
With
I'll agree with you. Sorry,
well,
go ahead.
that's right. Whereas with Helm Deep, it's you've got dread, which then you've had this feeling of they're going to make it, and then it's a big setback. Then just a waves of despair, and then hope, so to speak.
And that's a very valid argument. That's a great point, and one can argue that maybe that makes it a better movie. But what, and I don't necessarily have a problem with anyone arguing that. What I have a problem with is someone telling me what is and isn't cinema. I have a problem with someone trying to tell to me, cinema can be whatever you interpret it as. And so one person's trash is another person's treasure. One person didn't like, another person will love. And it's to outright call a whole genre not cinema, I think it's disrespectful to the fans because it's cinema. I think is an interpretive thing. I don't think it's right to dictate what we can and can't call cinema.
Honestly, in my opinion, the type of movies that Marvel is putting out, they're gonna be gone one day because the cycle of superhero movies will crash.
But here's the thing: people have been saying that's just movies in general. And this is another article I read. People have been that's the cycle. People have been saying it first about they said it about gangster movies, and then they said it about the Western movies. And each new generation has a new film. Superheroes just a new iteration of that. Where the generation before it says no, that's not cinema. That's trash. That's not film. But and they were doing it for action movies for a long time too. And so it's just a trend. I see it as it happens with every new genre like that. Once they find their prime, you're going to get the critics saying that no, it's not that. This from the
Yeah, but I think that the quality of Marvel films will eventually decline because of how stretched thin Kevin Feige is going to be.
Well, I don't like that he got rid of Jeff Loeb. I think it was a dick move.
Well, it's not just that, but he's also going to be involved with the comics. He's going to be involved with Star Wars.
Right? Isn't that crazy? He's the creative chief executive now, or something like that.
Yeah, so it's going to cause an inevitable decrease in quality for Marvel.
And as if that wasn't already happening on the comic side.
I mean, I hope he is able to bring back comics, make them good. But asking for a little much at this point with Marvel.
True, that's quite possible. But I'm just saying. I
know.
I just don't like modern critics. Honestly, I really don't like critics because you look at the scores and it's like the audience likes it and it's always the opposite of what the critics like. And to me, it just shows that people don't really, the critics don't really know what general audiences like anymore.
Well, there's one difference. Such that I think here's what I think is going on. Most of the critics are bought. Because you see a trash film like, say, Ghostbusters 2016, and you have a majority of critics love it. Meanwhile, you have the critics who have integrity. This makes terrible use of a talented cast. And it should be, and Paul Feig should be ashamed of himself.
I don't know. It just I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, I get why that would make sense in the Ghostbusters situation, I suppose. But I mean, like I'll look at movies and be like, oh wow, this movie has a huge user score. Why is the critic score so low? That doesn't make sense to me.
Because also a lot of critics are also believe themselves to be. I think that films should be, I guess, classy, more elitist.
Exactly,
Like,
and that's my problem. That's to me that's
well,
a little that's snobbish right there.
yeah, and
You know.
Roger Ebert was one of those types because he
Hmm.
loved Hulk. So
What?
he loved the movie Hulk. That was the one superhero movie he loved
Why? Which
because
one?
the first one of Ang Lee directing it
Uh.
because he
Uh.
enjoyed the symbolism in that movie.
So. Jeez, man, yeesh. That's problematic right there. Huh.
Uh, but I do agree that movies should be fun. If there's a lot of really bad movies out there, but they're really fun to watch when you got the right people with you.
And if you got some popcorn, man, you throw on,
Yeah.
you get a little pop that corn, man, that popped corn, that
Yep,
popping
and
corn, man.
I'm not just talking about The Room. I'm talking about a bunch of movies from other countries, like, say, I'm not gonna say Japan because that sounds too easy, but because of movies like the live action Attack on Titan, it's more like with Italian movies with their ripoffs of other versions of Conan.
Huh. Yeah, I can't say I'm familiar with any foreign films, unfortunately.
Well, there's just one movie that was recently that was on Rift Tracks about a year ago called Ator the Fighting Eagle.
Nice.
Basically, it's Conan the Barbarian, except that there's one really awkward scene, and that was a scene where Ator's with his assumed sister at the time. The exchange goes like this: Ator tells her that he loves her. His sister says that he loves him, and then he all of a sudden goes, "Why can't we marry?"
Hmm.
Of course, the audience doesn't know about this until the sister says, "But Ator, we're brother and sister." And, oh God, no!
Are you a big fan of riff tracks?
Ever
Would
since
you say you're a big fan
MST3K.
of riff tracks then? Or? Nice.
Oh yeah, ever since
Yeah, actually,
MST3K.
I was lucky. I was super lucky. I got to go see a Riff Tracks live show. I think it was last year. It was Summer Shorts Beach Party. They did. It was hilarious, man. It was freaking funny, man. I'm lucky because there's this event called SF San Francisco Sketch Fest,
Mhm.
and it happens every year. And it's just a month-long comedy fest where every night there's tons of shows every single night, and you can get lost in how many shows there are. There's like hundreds of shows during the month. I think like over 100 shows. I think I want to say, but it's insane, dude. Like I went to see so many different things live. You know, it's a lot of fun. It's the one thing I do every year for like live events.
I'm gonna say I wish that I was able to go see Space Mutiny live
Which one?
because what?
Which one?
Space Mutiny.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
Space Mutiny was a 80s sci-fi movie that made use of Battlestar Galactica models.
Hmm.
And it
That's
starred
funny.
the guy who is now known as the worst Captain America.
What? Who's that?
The 90s Captain America. They made back in the 90s a bunch of movies with a Captain America who was Steve Rogers, but not Steve Rogers. He was a cop who had with superpowers.
Huh. It's awkward.
Yep, and it did not do well. And in the movie Space Mutiny, he plays the role of a space pilot turned space pilot soldier who who comes up with some of the dumbest things possible. And at multiple points in the movie, with RiffTrax and MST3K, when they did it, they decided to come up with different names for him.
Like what?
Like Big McLarge.
Very descriptive.
Well, it's the way they just say it during random moments.
Really.
That makes it funny.
Hmm.
It's oh yeah, and also Blast Hard Cheese.
Blast hard cheese. That's pretty good. I like that one. Huh.
And there was quite the cheer when they brought that gag back for Riff Tricks Live.
Nice. Oh, that sounds fun. Yeah, I enjoyed that. If I get a chance to go see another Riff Tracks live, I'll definitely see it. I've been to every. Well, I don't know if every, but I've been to most of the Mystery Science Theater live shows, and they're so fucking fun, man. I was actually gonna say, aren't you in Michigan?
Yep.
They have they're doing 2 live shows in this November, one in Detroit and one in Flint.
Oh wow.
So if you're
That's pretty
interested,
fun.
you can still get tickets. They're still on sale.
Except I'm not sure if I want to trust Flint's water.
True, that you might be a little out of touch there. Although if this is Joel's last tour, this is the last live tour he's gonna do.
Yeah, he's getting pretty old.
Yeah, and I guess he's gonna pass the torch on to Jonah now, because Jonah came the last couple tours that I saw. It was Jonah and Joel both together. Yeah. But yeah, they're doing the first movie they're doing in Detroit at the Fox Theater is No Retreat, No Surrender. And then the second film they're doing at Flint, Michigan at the Capitol Theater is Circus of Horrors. So I'm looking forward to that. I got tickets for my my local theaters. I'm going to be going to see those in January.
Oh, of course. Have you seen the 25th anniversary MST3K?
No, I don't think I have.
Basically, they basically it's a Riff Tracks live event where
Oh wow.
Where they got everyone who worked on MST3K back on stage.
That's
so
cool.
you had Mike, Joel, Kevin, Bill, Frank, Trace, basically everyone.
Let's see.
And they all came on.
When was that one? I'm trying to think. Maybe that was one of the ones I saw.
About 2015, I think.
Oh, 2015. Then maybe it probably wasn't that one. Then I didn't see one that early.
It was not long. It was not long after Batman v Superman. And the joke as when they did the Superman short. They hit when Superman and when Clark Kent picks up a letter and reads it. That one of them goes, Clark, I can't believe both our members' names are Martha. Oh goddamn, Bruce! Just let it go.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Huh. But yeah, if you get a chance, definitely try and go out to the show.
Oh yeah. You know the funny thing is that
they're a lot of fun.
Yeah. The funny thing is that bring it back to Marvel, the MCU. Riff Tracks has not done a Marvel movie since the Avengers.
Do they put their stuff online?
What?
Like, can I watch the Avengers Riff Tracks?
No,
online?
You have to buy the commentary and then watch it with your DVD.
Oh, that's kind of cool, though.
Yep.
That's dope.
That's the only way they can sell them.
Oh, that actually makes a lot of sense, yeah. Yep. It's because they probably don't license it the same way that the Netflix show licenses the movies for MST3K.
Yep, and they've got the room. But
Ha.
because, what?
Oh, that's just funny, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, but the way that Tommy Wiseau has licensed it is that you can only get the room from his website.
Of course. That's how you get the DVD, isn't it?
Yep.
Freaking crazy person.
I think that's the reason why people like him so much, is how crazy he is.
Oh god, his store looks so awful. Huh. Wow.
But they did
He's selling a backpack. Wow, okay.
Yep.
Oh, he has something for the ladies.
a thong with Tommy Wiseau's face on it.
Something everyone needs. My god. Wow. Yeah, that's the reason. I think that's that's
Yep.
pretty much the only reason I've never seen the movie, because I refuse to buy it on his website. I refuse. You cannot make me shop at your site, Tommy Wiseau. I won't
Well,
do
you
it.
have to, because they can't sell it.
I know, and that's why I've never seen it, and I never will.
And you can watch portions of it on YouTube with the riff tracks.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe if they do another Riff Tracks live one on it, I'll try and catch that.
Some of the jokes get rather dark. They put this one on there. They put a compilation of all of Tommy's hellos. And at the end, when he's pointing a gun in his mouth, Bill Corbett goes, "Oh, hi, Gun Daryl."
That's pretty good. Nice, man. Well, yeah, I'll check that one out if I ever get around to buying the room. So you have to buy the room and you have to buy the riff tracks on both on his website?
Not on his website for the commentary. Commentary is on rifftracks.com.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant the commentary was on his website as well.
No.
Wouldn't that be funny? He's like, you guys can do this, but you have to sell it on my website.
You know, he really likes doing things his own way.
Yeah, I've noticed.
He's a very crazy man.
Oh, yeah. Now, I know you're a Gundam fan, aren't you?
What?
I know you're a big Gundam fan.
Yeah.
Are you going to be going to see Char's Counterattack Anniversary Edition next month?
Maybe.
I heard that was coming up.
Did you hear about what the latest Gundam movie is?
Isn't it like Hathaway's Flash or something?
Yep. The darkest movie ever.
Even darker than the ending to what's that one? What's the one with the sniper? Frick. I have it on my shelf. It's sitting on my. I have the. They have a two. Huh?
0080.
No, it's a newer one. They just came out with the second part of this year, I believe. It's God, what's it called? It's like it's basically it's all about. It takes place during the 1 year war, and it's about this elite sniper. Oh man, I can't believe I can't remember it. Huh? It doesn't ring any bells for you, huh?
No, but
Thunderstorm.
Oh, Thunderbolt.
Thunderbolts. Yeah, so they just came out with the second movie of Thunderbolt recently.
Well, Halfway Flash is actually going to be a trilogy of movies, so this trilogy is going to end darker than that because a father gets to watch his son get executed.
I don't know. The ending to the December Sky movie, dude, it's like there's this naked guy and he just murdered like a whole crew of people.
Here's the thing. There's a difference between that kind of depressing and the kind of depressing.
Oh, that's true. That's more depressing. That's for sure. Yeah, I'll give you that one.
I mean, this is going to be concerning the character that's involved with.
No spoilers.
Yep.
Nah.
It's you don't even know.
But I'll definitely be watching that one. And if you haven't watched December Sky yet, I highly recommend it.
Okay.
I haven't watched the second one yet. I have it though. It's called Gundam Thunderbolt Bandit Flower is the second volume.
Okay. Well, there's also and one there's one Gundam series that that has been seen that's really dark. Victory Gundam is basically everyone dies the series because Yoshiyuki Tomino had a murder boner.
I've got a boner for murder. Something like that.
Yeah, it's actually really funny because that's considered to be the last really dark series he's ever done. And then he went and did the remake of Zeta Gundam. Yeah, it's
Double Zeta?
three films. What?
Double Zeta?
No, Zeta Gundam.
Oh, I thought you said he did the remake of Zeta.
Yeah, it's
We mean
a
what?
trilogy of movies they directed.
I've never heard of him.
They basically he decided that it was too dark and of an ending, so he gave it a lighter ending.
Did it? I'm assuming it never got an English dub.
Oh,
The movies.
it has an English dub.
Really? I'm surprised I never heard of it when I was doing my research.
Well, some things can slip through.
It's quite possible. Yeah, I ended up just watching Zeta, the series.
Yeah,
when I was watching my rewatch, or because I watched because I wanted to catch up before Unicorn aired on Toonami, so I watched the original series and War in the Pocket, 08th MS Team, Zeta, Char's Counterattack, and then this show. So I had a great binge-a-thon. It was a great series. I actually really love the original series, the '70s one. Despite its goofiness and some of the things that are a little goofy, it's actually really good. And the characters are actually really, really good.
The novelization, a novel version, is basically the series without any of the goofiness, basically.
Nice. Yeah, that does sound like it might be a little bit better, actually.
Yeah, Amarosh is in the military at the beginning of it. He is training, so he has a background in the ability to use it. And it does have a really dark ending. Because
did you see? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
All right. Well, it's because it's Tomino, and he actually likes killing off his main characters.
He's like George R. R. Martin that way, but actually good at what he does.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Well,
I didn't want to get all the hate from the George R. R. Martin fans.
Well, the guy is.
He just needs to write faster. That's all.
He's not as talented as people think he is.
Well, no, probably not. But I mean, there's a reason why hardly anyone knew what the books were before the show started. Not that he didn't have his audience, but most people didn't know what they were before the show. I would say, at least, I had no idea what they were.
Yeah.
Did you watch Gundam New Type, the Gundam NT?
No, I haven't yet.
Pretty good. I actually like that one. It's a nice follow-up to Unicorn.
That's the thing about anime is that it's pretty hard to get a hold of in physical format, and that's for the longest time I've ever do is get the physical format.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of it's gone streaming. Really, streaming is the emphasis now.
Yeah, but it seems like Gundam's making a comeback with everything. If all the model kits are going into stores these days.
You mean actual like models and stuff like that? Is that what you meant by physical?
Blu-rays.
Oh, you are talking about well, because I was gonna say because when I was watching the show, I was telling you I was catching up. That was when the Blu-rays were a lot of the Blu-rays were actually getting released, and so like for the first time you could get the original series in HD on Blu-ray, or you could get the Sharks Counterattack in Blu-ray. So it's like it's cool to see them re-releasing these things in high def and new releases, and it's the Gundam franchise is just still as popular as ever. It seems.
Well, it's a very popular series in Japan.
And in America too, I think.
I think it's gaining a resurgence based
Yeah, I
on
think so.
everything that's getting released.
Like Toonami airing Iron Blood Orphans, I'm sure that helped a lot too.
Yeah, and Gundam the Origin.
Oh yeah, they were just recently airing that as well. Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, it's awesome, man. I would have watched it, but I've already seen Gundam in the Origin in movie format. So.
Have you read the manga?
No, I'm not much of a manga reader. I have to admit. If there's a TV show for it, I'll read that. And the only manga I really read are things that don't have anime.
It's basically a retelling of the 70s series, except that it gives more emphasis to. It gives more. It's more in depth as a series, such as you'll see a new design for the Gundam, which is the precursor to the one Amuro piloted. Basically a Gundam with a visor and a cannon attached instead of a second beam saber.
That's pretty cool.
The Gundam was a prototype mobile suit design, but the Federation already had mobile suits in the war. They had the gun cannons, they had the gun tanks.
Right, yeah. And they brought those to the show as well, right?
Yep.
From the manga.
Well, no, Gundam the Origin is a brand new.
Oh, you're talking about, huh?
Gundam the Origin is a newer retelling of.
Right, but it came out before the anime. I'm assuming, right?
No, it came out in 2000s.
Wait, no. Oh, I'm sorry. No. I mean the sorry. When I say the anime, I mean the anime for Origins.
Oh yeah. The anime came out beforehand, but
okay.
The art is really good. If you don't care about,
and doesn't it go more in depth than the like it goes farther than the show does?
Yeah.
Damn you.
Yeah, you see more of the history. You see her childhood, the rise of the Zabi family, all the politics of Zeon before the Zabis took over.
Yeah, I always really loved the Zeon side of the war. It's always really interesting.
And it shows that not every one of them was a bastard.
Yeah, I think that's a big theme in Gundam. Is like there's bad people and good people on every side. There's no one's necessarily good, or no one side is necessarily good or bad entirely. But yeah, Gundam's a great series.
It's funny, but that scene where Giran is compared to Hitler in the series, it happens earlier in the novels.
Huh. What series does that happen in?
It's in the original series.
The 70s one?
Yeah. Basically, his father points out the one thing that the audience knew about the character Giran is that he's a Nazi.
Huh. I don't remember that part. I must have forgotten that part.
Oh yeah, and then Giran calls himself a follower of Hitler.
What?
Yeah.
What? That's not in the. That's not in the dub. I don't think. Is it?
It is. I can bring up
really?
the video on
I
YouTube.
definitely don't remember that. Jeez, you think that would be hard to forget?
No. It can be forgotten because you don't want to think about a two-dimensional villain like that. But his
Right.
father then,
True. Good point. Good
the
point.
and the father points out that a reminder that Hitler lost his war, which was used to foreshadow what happens to him.
Oh wow. Yeah, I don't know. I think you're right though about that. I never liked that analogy. To me, like especially after you learn about origins, it's like the zombies and Zeon Kun Daikun and all of the things that go into the Neo Zeons and everything. It was so much more complex, and I feel more sympathetic than just comparing him to like a Nazi or something. You know,
Well, you need a clear villain, though.
you need a clear villain, but you also need a villain who can be either, if not sympathetic, at least you need a villain who believes they're doing what is the right thing for themselves, and you know they have to be the hero of their own story.
And you have that with other characters in the zombie family. I mean, look at
Exactly.
Dozel's zombie.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, great example.
How honorable he was. How he wasn't willing to leave his men
Right.
behind during a losing battle.
Yeah, how he helped Shar and his sister when they were young.
No, that wasn't him.
So yeah, I totally get that. What are you talking about? Yeah, it is.
None of the zombies helped them.
Dozel?
You're
I thought
thinking about Rambo Raw.
Oh god damn it! You're right. I am. He was the character I was thinking of. You got me.
Yeah.
So who did you say?
Dozel's zombie was the commander of, I think it was Solomon Station. He was one of. He was
wait.
the guy who piloted.
Oh
the
my god! Can I tell you something? I'm embarrassed to admit.
Oh boy.
Let me look up Rambo Raw now. God dang it! Because I have a thing with faces where I can't tell people apart. No wait. Ah fuck. Wait. Okay. So remember in Origins when they're escaping in the tank?
Yeah.
Wasn't he in the tank, or am I getting them confused? I thought he was in the tank with them.
No.
God, I thought. Man, I really can't remember. It shows you how much I remember this show, man.
Yep.
And who helped them escape from the tower? Was that Rambaral?
Jinbo Rawl, his father.
Huh? Oh
Jinbo
god.
Rawl, his father.
Oh god. I'm so confused. I think I give up on that. I might need to rewatch it. I got Dozel confused with both Rambaral and his father. I thought all three were the same character.
Yeah, his daughter
Somehow.
plays a major role in Gundam Unicorn.
Really?
Yeah.
Was she the weird royal chick?
Yep.
Oh. It all makes sense now.
She was also in Zeta Gundam as the Zeon leader in exile.
I missed all of that. Yikes. I'm not proud of that. But no, it's a great series. I do love Gundam. It is a lot of fun.
Except for G Savior. If you love that Abomination, you're just wrong. I have shit taste.
Your jokes are bad and you should feel bad.
And it's also another reason why Canada was able to vote for Trudeau twice, because that was also Canadian production.
I suspect we'll be hearing from South Park on that matter shortly.
We already heard from Brian from Rags about
Oh, really? I missed that one.
He capped it off with congratulations to Canada for voting their first black president for his second term.
Ouch. Oh man. Yeah, that's an interesting one. We'll see where that goes. But what do you got going on the rest of the Wikid weekend? What do you got going today?
Writing and such.
Yeah, you're not playing any games right now or anything like that, or?
Well, I've been playing a lot of Star Trek Online.
Nice. How's that been going?
It's actually a lot more fun than I remember it.
So it actually holds up.
Well,
Is
I
what you're
think it's
saying.
more along the lines that they got someone in charge that actually cared.
Hmm. Yeah, no, that's fair.
Because originally it was just it was not great.
Hmm.
There was so much. It was very much a generic MMO, except with spaceships.
Hmm. Sounds familiar.
Yep.
Well,
How about you?
I'll be probably watching some One Punch Man. I've been watching One Punch Man season 2. So that's probably what I'll do. But
Yeah, I think the one reason why they were able to make a series about a overpowered superhero like that successful is because uh, they were able to get the right story for it
hmm.
and the right themes.
True, yeah. It could easily have gone really badly, I think.
Oh yeah, that was a huge risk the creator was making, and I applaud him for that, even if it was a disaster.
Well, it's weird. There's like 4 editions of the comic now. That's like so confusing. There's like the webcomic version, and then there's multiple manga versions.
Well, that's Japan. They're going to make manga versions of everything until it it stops being a cash cow. I mean, look at how many mangas Evangelion has,
Really?
and none of them are related towards each other. Attack on Titan has a bunch of those too.
Yeah, they have a couple. Yeah, they have some spin-offs and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that makes sense. I mean, it's what TV shows do too. That's why you have NCIS, million NCIS shows on TV.
Yeah, but they don't do it like manga does it, where they have spin-offs like a junior high version of the series.
That'd be interesting. NCIS Junior High.
Oh
That would
God.
be a very weird spinoff.
I mean, if they made it, I guess if they made it NCIS high school, it'd be Veronica Mars.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, but I get what you mean. It is they do it in it's a uniquely Japanese way that they do the spinoffs.
Yep.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, they love serialization. You know,
Oh yeah.
almost everything is a series in Japan.
Well, that also goes to their work and how they approach work. If you're not working, you're not doing anything worthwhile.
Yeah, they definitely are a hardworking culture. That's for
I
sure.
mean, look at Takashi Miike. He has over 100 movies directed.
It's pretty incredible.
One year, he directed 7 movies at once.
Jeez. Wow, that's ambitious. That's wild.
That's Japan in a nutshell.
And that's
That
why
is
manga
a
keeps
very
cranking out, man.
that's a very Japanese sentiment right there.
True. Yeah. Which I think a lot of people. I think a lot of people. Oops. Sorry. I think a lot of people can take something from that and learn from that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Except
But
I don't think you can. With the way Hollywood works, I don't think you're able to do something like that.
maybe that. You know. It's a different environment, I suppose.
Yep.
So I guess one solution would be to move to Japan. We're taking Wikid to Japan, guys. Here we go.
Boy, we're not gonna do well. Not because I doubt the
Gaijin,
work ethic
Gaijin.
of the creators, but because of the still isolationist thought process of Japan.
It is hard to break into the manga industry in Japan if you're a foreigner, from what I understand.
Yep. Unless you're Korean. Apparently they love that.
Makes sense. Yeah, I mean, there are other Asian countries probably, I suppose, could have a leg up, but I just think in general, I mean, there has been people who do it. There are a number of people from America living in Japan making successful careers out of being mangaka.
Oh
So
yeah,
it is possible.
I
It
do
just takes a
have.
lot of work.
Yep, my aunt was married to this guy named this guy whose brother is. I actually forget the name. Uh, well, let's just say that his brother, where I lived in Japan for quite some time, and
Hmm.
well, he's a successful comic creator who has artwork that's based more in the Japanese manga art form rather than American.
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting how how he was able to make it through.
No, that's cool. Yeah, it sounds like a really interesting story.
I look
I
at
feel like a lot of people could relate to that. We want to hear about that.
yeah, it's also pretty crazy how Ruby's been able to make a headway in Japan. Because when you look at the voice actors they have for a dub, for a Japanese dub, they're putting it on their best.
What do you mean?
Well, for an internet web series like Ruby, to have some of the best voice actors, Japanese voice actors working on it, that tells you a lot about how much Japan enjoyed it.
Well, yeah, I don't think people in Japan have a stigma about what they would consider anime or not. I mean, from my understanding, anything animated thing is in anime in Japan. And so them to see this, they're like, hey, look, they're obviously doing homage to what we do here. It's why wouldn't we love this?
It's more of a
It's kind of like how Japan, when everyone was upset with Scarlett Johansson being cast from Ghost in the Shell, people in Japan were like, "What are you talking about? That's awesome. She's an amazing actress, an A-list actor. Why wouldn't we like this?"
yeah. They don't look at the skin of the person that's portraying the
Mm-hmm.
role. They're looking at the status, and the status.
Right.
If he's an A-list actor, you're definitely going to get them to like it.
Right. Exactly. So I just think it's funny how it's viewed. There's a different perspective on anime depending on if you're actually in Japan or not.
Yeah,
And hopefully we can start breaking away from that here in America a little bit.
yeah. I saw this featurette with Mamoru Oshii, who directed the original
Nice.
itself, and
Mm-hmm.
his count. To be honest, this is what I didn't like about the production was that the featurette was called Mamoru Oshii, but very little of it was about him or talking about him. So during one point, he makes a statement that he's certain that it'll be the best looking version of Ghost in the Shell.
That's debatable. I mean, it's kind of hard to say that. I mean, live action movies, sure, they have CGI and they're great, but animation is just gorgeous. I mean, it's hard to beat hand drawn animation in terms of visual
To be honest,
spectacle.
kind of feel like he was taking a jab at them.
Really? Oh, you think so? Like he was kind of being underhanded?
Yeah,
bit?
that's probably why. They probably saw it at first and went, "Oh, that's great. He loves this movie." But
Yeah, I don't.
go on.
No, I don't. It was okay to me. It wasn't that bad, but it wasn't that great either. It was just okay.
Oh yeah,
Actually, sorry, go ahead. I keep interrupting you.
That's right. Well, it's Ghost in the Shell was written in America.
Like Death Note in America, right? The
Yeah.
Netflix one.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just not good. And honestly, if I'm gonna be honest, I actually prefer the Shiro edition standalone complex, the TV show, over Oshi's movie version.
You want to know something interesting about that?
Hmm.
The director for Standalone Complex was also part of the Pet Labor series.
Right. Yeah. What's
Oshi.
his name again? I don't remember his name offhand, but yeah, that's right. I was actually because I'm writing an article right now on the second season of Ghost in the Shell for Tsunami Squad, and in part of my research, I actually found out that the director of the show had done Pat Labor. I was like, oh, I was like, and it's funny because when I read that, I was like, oh, I bet Matt knows that. I wonder if I
Yep.
wonder. Yeah.
The sad thing is that they didn't really do much with the headgear label.
What do you mean?
All they did with that was basically they only did Pet Labor under that.
I'm not sure I'm following.
Pet Labor was the only title that headgear is
What's headgear?
It's the group that of creators that created that was going. It's you know how artists, animators, directors they all form a group.
Sort of.
It's kind of it's like Clamp.
Okay.
So that's the only show that they only hit. They all had and they all worked on with that label.
Are you saying the guy who directed Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex is part of that group?
Yeah, to a degree.
Interesting.
He's associated with them, but I do think it's really interesting how the Japanese will do that. Well, they'll have a creative group put together so that they can own the rights and make a lot of money off of it.
True.
Because the rights will either be owned by them or the anime studio.
Really?
Yep. Basically, when you see a popular anime series, the creator sees nothing from it. They get a big check for. They'll often see a big check for adaptation rights, and that's it. No royalties.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's just the way it goes in the industry. Yeah, it's not right, but that's tough.
Yeah, it's funny when you think about that. At least that's one thing that Hollywood does right, is that everyone and nobody gets screwed over.
True. That's the one thing. Other than that, you can't say shit. But all right, man. Well, I think we're pretty much about the end of our time today. I sound like a therapist. We're at the end of our visit today. Please come back and visit the Wikid Publishing office later for your therapy needs.
I don't think you'd be a good therapist, though.
Oh no, I'd be horrendous. I would ruin everyone. You'd come out worse than you came in. Let's just say that.
You'd probably be the therapist that Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling saw for the promotional videos for The Nice Guys.
Yeah, I could see that. Sounds about accurate, honestly. I couldn't hope for any more than that, you know.
Of course.
But well, I appreciate you jumping on with us. I was sad to see Brett couldn't make it, but I appreciate you making the time to get on here. I'm sure he just had a few last minute things come up.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll get him on the next one.
Yeah, someone had to jump on, right?
Yeah, exactly. And maybe once Dan's work schedule settles down, we can get all three of you guys on together, talking Mythoverse. But in the meantime, where can people follow you online so they can keep up to date with all the new projects that you have going on?
You can follow me at Matt Trin on Twitter for the Mythoverse crew. you can go to for Mythoverse. You can go to at Mythoverse. For Brett, you can go to at Celtic Brett. And for Dan, you can go to Dan_Sakuro.
Nice, nice. And you guys can see all the cool stuff they've got going on over there.
Yes.
And I always like to follow you guys, check out your pages. You guys always have cool, not just art coming in from your guys' stuff, but you're always having new fan art and new stuff coming out. Like I'm looking here. Apparently, there's a new extended edition of Adobe Kroger. Is that right?
I didn't hear anything about that. I'm
I don't
surprised.
know what this is. Oh, it's an extended sample. Also, you can actually get a sample of it. So he posted stuff for people who haven't been able to read it. So you actually get an hour of the Adobe Kroger audiobook.
Yeah.
So it's just stuff like that. I always like seeing the cool stuff you guys are coming out with, you know?
Yeah,
you guys are always doing stuff. Yeah.
I was about to say, I didn't know Dan had that much time.
Seriously. Well, it's amazing how any of you guys get that much stuff done. It's just shows how dedicated you guys are to this.
Well,
which I think is a real testament.
Yeah, we really want to get this all done and worked out so that people could have comics in a reasonable time, in a reasonable period of time.
And I think people really appreciate that, you know. Seeing that you guys are not just passionate about your work, but you guys care about the fans, you know.
Oh yeah, it doesn't seem right to take the money and go.
Right, yeah. This isn't a cash grab here.
Nope.
So you guys are in it for the long haul, and it's all about the passion and the creativity for you guys. I can tell that with D3. So I think that shows through when you guys create your works and when you interact with your fans. So I just can't wait to see what you guys do next. So let's onward and forward with more Mythoverse.
Oh, definitely. And there's gonna be much more coming out in the future.
Nice, man. That's so exciting.
Yep, Mytho Chibis will be on hiatus for a while we get everything while we regroup. Unfortunately.
Nice. No, that's understandable. Call it end of the season for now, and we'll pick up again on the next season.
Yeah, which honestly, I wish that didn't happen because I love working with Antonella. Seeing the stuff that she comes out with.
Yeah, it must be so fun to see new stuff come back each week.
Oh yeah, and I enjoy the stuff that Brett and Dan come up with. Oh, for the comic.
True. Yeah. Yeah, you guys are, like I said, you guys are always doing something, man. But awesome, man. Well, hey, I appreciate your time. Anything you want to say to your fans out there real quick before we head out for the weekend?
Other than be patient, we're going to have more coming out. Just if you want to read more mythics, we're going to have there's going to be the short story in the Wikid magazine, and I'm going to be writing. I want to serialize the mythics novel on the Wikid magazine as well, so that you guys don't have to wait as long.
Yeah, that should be fun as well, and it gives us cool stuff, Mythoverse stuff to dive into in the magazine as well.
Yep.
I'm super excited for the next issue of the magazine. We've already got submissions coming in, and yeah, it's gonna be good, man. So awesome, man. Well, hey, everyone who joined us today, I appreciate it. If you're watching on the replay, thanks for checking it out. You can follow us at Wikid Publishing. I'll put that up on the screen. As Matt said, and we've been talking about, we got the magazine coming out. That's just it's been on pre-order, but you can go order it now, and we're going to start shipping this upcoming week. So if you haven't got one, go ahead and secure your copy. And other than that, you can follow me personally at NubGuy. I don't do too much there, but every now and then I'll post a few things. And then you can also follow the other Wikid publisher, Matt B. Sulos. Matty B. And you can do that over at his Twitter, Matt B _Sulos. And in fact, if you don't mind, you're probably already watching it now, but please go check out if you haven't our YouTube channel and go subscribe. We're only 3 subscribers away from 100 subscribers, and then we'll get our custom URL, I believe, at that point, which would be nice and super awesome. So please go do that if you haven't. And yeah, just be on the lookout. We got a slew of a few more comics coming out this year. We'll be soon shipping out on the Mythoverse for the backers. We've got Barrels issue 2 heading the store in November. Decimators Volume 4 heading the store in November, as well as Canada Bear heading to store this December. So I got a lot of books coming out. So please be on the lookout for all that and follow us to find out more on our Twitter. And we'll see you next time on the Wikid Weekend. Thanks for joining us, and take care, guys.
Later.
And it might help if I end the show.
Yes, it does.
That might. Goodbye, everyone. For real this time. Goodbye.